7,000 visitors. I think that's great. Okay. Only 2 conversions. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Stop right there. I'm gonna help you troubleshoot your Shopify nightmares. In this video, what I really wanna do is tackle 4 different segments that I think you're definitely gonna fall into if you're not sort of performing on your Shopify store, right? Things like, high traffic, but low sales, maybe 0 traffic coming in at once. Like, I want to be able to diagnose and treat these like if you were coming to the ER, right? And giving us a nice little visit, right? These are some of the things that I would prescribe to you if you fall into any of these segments. So segment number 1 is going to be that high traffic, is people who are getting a lot of eyeballs, a lot of sessions into their store, but they have low add to carts, right? The problem or the diagnosis that usually we see is either confusing navigation. So customers can't find what they want. You may not have the right things displayed within the navigation. I've actually even seen stores where in the navigation, instead of putting the word t-shirt, they go with a fancy marketing name for their t-shirts. It's like, don't do that. Don't confuse your customers with marketing jargon right from the get-go. Your store should be familiar, but still unique, to some extent, but definitely needs to be familiar. And then search and discovery, an app, a free app by Shopify. Install that and go through the settings and set everything up in terms of filters, in terms of search synonyms. These are all things that I want you to do on your store right now. The other diagnosis or something else that I can prescribe for you is on product pages, they usually lack trust signals. A lot of times, no reviews, unclear shipping policies, right? There is, maybe the photography is just not looking good, or they have one photo for their products. To me, to be honest, the number 1 trust signal is going to be reviews. So even if you don't have the ability to have reviews for this particular product, still showcase and highlight different reviews from different products in your store in a section that could be below the regular, review section, but that highlights a bunch of different reviews for your products. And lastly, there's usually unattractive offers or images, and kind of alluded to that, but like photos that just don't sell the product. You need to be able to showcase at least 5 different photos for your products, showcasing the product on a model. Also, if you're selling clothing, it's a must. Like, you have to showcase how your product looks on a model. If that's something that it's too hard to do right now, start small. Start with 3 products on your store and get those products to you, get some models, get some friends and family, like do something now in order to get better at some of these things. We're not saying that you're going to be able to fix, everything all at once, but these are some of the things that usually are an indicator of low add to cart. These are usually some of the things that are missing in some of the stores when we're looking at them. Some additional fixes and some things that you can do is audit your product pages, right? Use those high quality images, use multiple viewing angles of your products, use detailed descriptions, add the trust building features like reviews or trust badges, or literally let them know how shipping and returns work right there from the product page. Streamline your navigation, right? Simplify your menus, and don't necessarily overcomplicate your menus, but at the same time, you definitely want to give them the opportunity to find your product. So make sure you have a search. Make sure that you install that app, Search and Discovery by Shopify. It's free, and it just adds some additional features there on the back end. The last thing that I want you to fix is clarity on shipping. So if the customer doesn't know what shipping will cost, a lot of times they will just bounce out of the website. So it's important that you keep that clarity on product page, on the home page, on the cart page. The messaging needs to be consistent all throughout. And if this is you, I'm going to give you just another little tidbit too. You definitely, if you have a lot of traffic coming in and very, very low conversions, or not even conversion, we're talking about really just add to carts, right? The add to cart rate or percentage, which if you're just starting out, you should see a good 8 to 10% of customers at least adding to cart, right? That gives you a good indication that your product is good. Now, if it's way lower than that, if your add to cart rate is at a 3%, low single digit percentages, then it may be a good idea to kind of go back to to product a little bit, right? And make sure that the product is good. But before you kind of go down that path, and we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the video, I do want to make sure that you look into your analytics and that you're looking at your traffic breakdown. Like, where are these people coming from? Because I've actually seen this firsthand where some customers, they have crazy amount of traffic coming in, but then when you truly analyze the data and you truly analyze things like the heat maps and the recordings, you start to see like a lot of this is really bot traffic. A lot of times is Shopify testing for speed on your site, which sometimes it will actually show as Council Bluffs, Iowa in your Shopify analytics, where it's like a lot of people just coming from Council Bluffs, Iowa. And that usually means that it's going to be that the bot that keeps track of your website speed in the back end. So I definitely implore you to look at your analytics first and go through and make sure that you're actually getting legitimate visitors to your store, and that it could be a product, issue, but that would be my go-to place is seeing where the visitors are coming from. Social media, is it direct? Is it search engines? What locations are they coming from? If you're a US brand and everyone's coming from India, there's a disconnect somewhere there on the type of customers that you're bringing into your store. Hey, if you're new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Christian. I'm one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. We've served over 250 clothing brands in the last year alone. I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe this video so that you don't miss any of our content moving forward. All right, segment number 2 is going to be low traffic, and with low traffic, practically zero sales, right? The problem in diagnostics here is you either have poor SEO, missing content, you lack social media presence, you're probably not running any ads, you may even not have any clear branding. People may not even, you exist, but you don't really, nobody knows about you or who you are. So if you have almost low traffic, very, very low traffic, and when we talk about low traffic, we're really talking about less than 1,000 people per month on your store. If you're in that range of less than 1,000 people, then this is your segment. You are in a place where you truly don't exist, for even the people who you think it's your ideal customer. I would say fewer than 1,000 sessions, it's hard to come up with just reliable data for your brand. I would say, if you get less than 1,000, half of those are probably going to be bot traffic anyways. So you're not going to be able to get a good sample size of your audience if you're below that threshold. So fixes for you. SEO basics, right? Definitely need to optimize your titles, your product descriptions, anything that's regarding content, written content on your website, all that stuff needs to be optimized. Next up is content creation. So making sure that you either start a blog post or you add more products to your store as time goes by. If you're in a specific niche, right, writing blog posts should be pretty straightforward and pretty easy for you to add more content to your store. A lot of people are maybe afraid of doing a blog on their clothing stores, but to me, that's just a very easy way to just add more keywords to the store to potentially rank for those things in the future. And obviously the SEO space is changing a lot with AI, but I think at the end of the day, your North Star should always be, is this content helpful or entertaining for my audience? If either of those two things are true, then you're doing a good job of adding that to your website. On top of all this, running targeted ads, right? Going in and running your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok campaigns, that's a surefire way of getting traffic into your store and building up to that 1,000 sessions a month so that then you can get statistical evidence, right, of some of the things that you're doing or not doing within your store. Now, if you want to run your best ad campaigns, then I highly suggest that you watch some of Aaron's videos that basically help you walk through how to build your ad campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, which is something that we highly, highly encourage for everyone to do. And especially even early on when you're still trying to figure out if this product and this audience actually go together, right? Are these people actually interested in the product that I have? Running Facebook ads and going through that process initially to get that data is absolutely important. Data is going to be something that's absolutely crucial in the beginning stages, and a lot of people tend to not do it. Obviously, doing your regular social media campaigns and going through social media and creating your stories and creating content, it's great, but running the ads initially It's going to get you on whether you're doing the right thing or not, right? And give you the data that you need. Okay, the next segment, it's really going to be high add to cart. So you're getting good traffic, you're getting a lot of people to add to carts, but maybe you have low checkout, right? Usually the problem here is unexpected costs, either shipping or taxes, or it could be slow or complicated checkout process. A few of the fixes that I recommend for something like this, and to be honest, like this is a good place to be because there's not a whole lot that you can change really within the dynamics of Shopify. But number one, you gotta be upfront about costs, right? Show how to display like free shipping bars or calculators right from the actual product page. Enable the free shipping thresholds on your cart drawers, and then streamline checkout. You want to definitely remove any distractions like unnecessary form fields. Like less is more. And I've seen a lot of people even like some themes give you the option to do a terms and conditions box in the actual drawer. Get rid of that. You don't need a check mark for terms and conditions. Like just keep it simple. And I always talk about this, like the linear path to getting to checkout. So if on your product page, you have multiple buttons and multiple things available for the customer to do, I would get rid of all that stuff. I would have a single button on your product page, and that's going to be add to cart. And then guess what? On your actual cart, you should have a cart drawer, not a cart page, a cart drawer. On that cart drawer, again, remove all distractions. Have a singular button, a singular action, which is going to be checkout. So is that linear path of I'm on the product page, from the product page directly to my cart drawer. For my cart drawer, I only got one option, and that's go to checkout. That's the linear path that we want you to have. If you don't have this, if you have multiple buttons, multiple ways to get to the same place, that's just more distractions and more things that the customer has to micro think about those things. You're removing all of that. Less is more. Hey, before we move on to the last segment, I just want to say, if you are a clothing brand owner and you want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how it works and how to grow it profitably online, you can actually schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. Now, there are limited spots, so if you go find a time right now, we can get you in. So check the link in the description below. All right, the last segment is going to be low conversion despite decent metrics. So you're getting good high traffic, you're getting good add to cards, you're doing all the right things. You've gone through all the best practices, you watch all of my videos in the past, but there's still something that's missing. Now, these are some things that usually are a problem, right? Part of the diagnosis is maybe there's a lack of urgency or incentives. Maybe there's a poor mobile experience. And again, going back to product, it could be the product at the end of the day. So a few fixes and some things that I would want you to test is create a little bit of urgency, right? Try messaging on, limited stock available. Only three on this product are available. Triggers like limited time sales, testing the pricing of the actual product are also going to be tests that I want you to do. And when it comes to mobile, I want you to not only look at the preview that Shopify shows you as the mobile, but I want you to definitely go into your iPad, to your phone, into your friends' phones, and see how your store actually plays and how it looks on the actual device. Those are going to be definitely important things that I want you to do. The last thing that you should have this already set up is just go through your Microsoft Clarity videos and actually review the data, review firsthand customer behavior, and try to see and determine what are some of the things that they may need in order to complete the checkout process. Now, if none of this works, right, and you're still having issues with conversion, then at the end of the day, you do have to go back and question product. You have to go back to product because that's going to be the sort of the last thing standing there at the end. It's going to be the product. So questioning the product, would all the metrics look good except for conversion rate, right? If you have, maybe high return rate from your customer, or maybe there's a lack of interest in some of the ads that you're running, then there's got to be a disconnect with your audience and the product that you're actually selling. Now, if that's you, right? If you think that it may be a product issue and that the customers are not resonating with the product, I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to maybe go over and test for your brand. Number 1 is going to be improve the product, right? If what you're creating is something that maybe it's 100% cotton, but you need a 50-50 polyester blend, like that's what people actually like. They like a little bit of stretchiness with their clothing. Then improving the product in that way, maybe the material that you're using, maybe the fit, right? Maybe all the product images that you chose or the products that you actually chose for your store, maybe they're a tight fit. Maybe your customer audience, they want that oversized fit. That's what's in right now, right? So playing around and adjusting either the product materials, the product fit, potentially product packaging, also perceived value of the product, right? Like if you actually do have a high quality product, then a lot of times it may be just the perceived value of the product, right? How you're presenting that product. So these are all ways that you can improve, number one, the product overall. Number two would be to change the positioning. So you could either change the price position. So you could go to a higher end. Maybe you're selling t-shirts for $28 and nobody's really, but maybe you change the pricing to even higher. Maybe you change the pricing to $52 for your t-shirts. And that's sort of like the edge that you needed in order to convert some of your client base. Maybe they think that your product is too cheap. That could be something like changing the positioning and how you market the product, or it could be even diving a little bit deeper into a deeper niche within your audience. Could change the positioning of your product and your brand. And that's something, again, that I would definitely test if nothing else is resonating. And lastly, what you can test is try to expand the offer, right? So try to think of ways to potentially bundle your products with some other items, or again, maybe testing with pricing as well, or doing a complementary product. Maybe your audience, they truly love, what they see, but they need just a little bit of an extra incentive for them to go through and convert. So the offer could be a lot of different things, right? It could be a little bit of the pricing. It could be playing a little bit with the shipping, or it could be a little bit with free gifts. So these are all things that you can test in order to see, again, if you have the right product for the right audience. All right, so there you have it. These are some of the 4 segments and some of the main things that we see day in and day out, and how we would diagnose some of these things and some of the fixes, some of the things that we would prescribe to those clients. Now, if you want to find out how to do some of these things, then you definitely want to watch this video where we go over best practices for your store and how to actually achieve them in the back end.